Hi, my name is Mike Vitale. I'm the designer of a game called Desert Blitzkrieg, which is being published by Compass Games, and I was just given the proof copy the other day, and I thought I'd make a short video to show you all the components. The box, of course, and very solid components. These are, I'm very impressed with the quality of the components. Game laid out here, and you can see, I'll back off and you can see the whole thing. It's a mounted mat board, as you can see here. Very, very well done. I was told they're all hand done. Interesting enough. But this game in North Africa, it was designed actually in 1982. It's similar to a GDW game, their Ardennes game that they tried to use their point-to-point system for that, but it had so many units that folks thought it was cumbersome. In this, I've made a couple of improvements. First of all, there's a lower unit density in a North Africa game than there would be in a battle in the Ardennes, the Battle of the Bulge. And I also came up with this battle board, which every combat, when you decide to have a combat in a point, you mark it with the battle marker, take all the pieces, both the ones that are coming in to attack and the ones that are defending, and you move them over to the battle board, and they get distributed in a front line, second line, and there are extensive rules on how to do that. It's a very simple procedure. This is a simple game. I got most of the math out of it. You have battle resolution is by 10-sided die. You have to roll less than or equal to the combat number, which on this RE-80 infantry unit is a 2. So you roll a 0, 1, or a 2. 0 is low, and it counts. 0, 1, and 2, you score a hit. And if you score a hit on something, you flip it over, and it has a little explosion on the side, so you can tell on the battle board if it's been hit. And a second hit will eliminate it, and you just take it off, stack it on the side, and you count it for victory points at the end of the battle. It's a very straightforward system, and it's a lot of fun because you roll a lot of dice. At least I think so. Here are some more sample counters. There's the 44th British Infantry. You can see that the counters are very thick. They're 5/8 inch. Very solid. Free French. There's the British HQ, which is generic because they had different generals. And of course you have your Rommel HQ. And there are rules for that, of course. Tactical air. The air is sort of abstracted. Here's your 5th Light armor, German armor. And you have a Tobruk fortification, which can be either -3 for a while or -1 when it gets weakened. We have a 2nd South African artillery, motorized. All the allied stuff is motorized. And here's a 7th armor, and the red circle means it has anti-armor capability. It gets an extra bump for that on the battle board. Here's some sample supply units. They are back printed, so it's Allied on one side and Axis on the other, so they can be captured and you can just flip them. The terrain key is relatively straightforward. There are only 3 different road types, and the terrain line, you have terrain lines that indicate any kind of difficult terrain, with the exception of what's printed on the map for a couple of spots in the mountains that it says right on the map that they get a +1 combat value if you defend in there. And the 2 fortifications are printed on the map. The Bardia one here and the Tobruk one here. The ports are marked. And I'm not going to get into what all the numbers mean and everything. This is just it was supposed to be very brief, and it's turning into something that's not so brief, but just wanted to show you all the components. There are cards involved. you get a certain number of card draws per game, and it's kept track of with the 6-sided dice. So you know it starts with 6, you get 6, and then every time you use a card, you decide you're going to use it. You flip the thing over to decrement it and the die, and then you pull a card out, and whatever it says on it is depending on whether you're the Axis or the Allies, it will have a different effect. And down here it shows what where in the sequence of play, reinforcement, replacement, withdrawal phase, that this would be played in, and read it, and you apply the results, and the card is discarded. And so it provides some extra flavor and a little randomness to the game. Here's your turn record. So you have all of when all the units come in, you just set it up at the beginning of the game with all the units on when they come in. There are events that happen that are marked with abbreviations here, and then there's a card that explains them all. So it summarizes them so you don't have to look up in the rules. And it says exactly what turn different things happen in, and it's cross-referenced to the boxes here to remind you to look over here and there's something going on. There's other player aids. There are substitute counters. Over time, units get better, and at certain points in the time, you roll to see if you can replace them. Both the British have them and the Germans have them. The Commonwealth and the Italians do not get any improvements like this. It's mostly for armor. The British armor got better as time went on, and they changed their tactics, and we have substitute counters that are become available as time moves on. Their armor gets better. It summarizes replacements here, what happens with if you get your HQ captured. There's capture and supply die roll summary, the Axis first turn special rules when you're playing the campaign game, and then victory point scoring is summarized here. And if that wasn't enough, we have each player gets a detailed both summary of play and detailed combat aid, which outlines step by meticulous step on what to do first. Summary of play from optional card draw, which is the first thing you do, to checking your replacement with and withdrawal step, and what you do with your HQ, then move, then combat steps, how you do that, finally motorized movement, and then any things that happen at the end, like removing certain markers, and then scoring victory points, and then the next player does the same thing. And when you get into combat in step 8, you can use this side, which then details everything you do on the battle board, from marking the battle with the battle marker and removing all the units involved, to the battle board, checking for supply status, arranging your units in front and second line, and all the different steps involved in that. It's very meticulous, and once you've done it a couple times, you'll get it. It's just there for at the beginning when you'd be looking up in the rules constantly. So I thought these summaries would be helpful. Being a former computer programmer, I like step by step. Anyway, let's see. Is there anything else? No, I think that just about covers it. The game should be out, I was told, because the proof copy has come in, as you can see. Should be out in summertime. That's what I was told, because they have to wait for a full container to be had over there, and they won't send out a partial container. It makes perfect sense. And this one should be printed and all done and sitting in that container sometime in the next month or two, if what they told me was correct. And then it just waits until the container's full, and then they send it over to Compass. And I was told it may be sometime in the summer, which of course means anywhere from June to September, but that's fine. It should be available by the Compass Expo in November 24, if not available for sale before then. So there you go. It's real. I believe it. It's been a long time for me. As I said, I started this design in 1982, and inside the rules booklet I explain the history of this puppy and how many times it came close to being published and then not. And now it's there, thanks to Compass. So hopefully this interests you. If it does, please go and reserve a copy. I'd love it if you did that. Of course. Take care, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Bye.